Hi guys, Hail and Merry Meet to everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene. We bought some materials to start the project. I did it take a little while ago, but unfortunately, I didn't press the turn my mixer on, so you couldn't hear me. So we're gonna try to continue on with the beginning of the fabrication process for this project. So right now I'm going to switch this over to the camera and so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so we're gonna work on this case. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to take the screws out because I have to see where is the PC board going to be sitting in this. This is very important. No, this is a very nice case, I have to admit. This has got threaded screws. It is not using your standard cheap hobby box plastic ones, which is really nice. So we're going to take it, open it up, and see what's inside. And please remember, you're going to have a lot of room inside for a lot of switches and buttons. And so, also, maybe you might be asking yourself the 1999 question, which is, why are you opening it up? Well, I'm opening it up because I have to see what the inside looks like. Okay, so here it comes with a gasket material. Okay, we don't need that right now. And here's what we do need to see. Let me just put these screws back in right now. Okay. These are threaded, and these have metal insert. Holy crap. This is a very posh case. Wow, this is so posh. Okay. So we're gonna, on the top of the case, we have to deal with, masking for the buttons. Now, everything in the project here is in metric, so for that reason, I am going to use metric measurements when I can, only because that is what it comes with the kit, is metric. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to take the PC board, and I'm going to put some masking tape on this, and I'm going to put the PC board, I want to put some tape on this. Just take my ballpoint pen and mark the spots here. Then, as I said regarding the part of the video you didn't see, we're going to have to use our brand new Dremel tool to mount the screws, holes, and everything. Okay, and because of safety, we got to make sure we wear safety squints with original glasses, because we don't want to damage your eyes. So let's start with the masking tape. The masking tape is so that we can mark it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just got to be big enough that you can see. Okay. So now we have something that now we can put these boards on. I did actually put a jumper in place in here because we're going to be using this as a digital controller only. Although that gives us a total of 15 inputs. So that's great. So now what I'm going to do is, let me get a marker or a pen. I'm going to use my pen from my purse. It doesn't have to be crazy. I don't even have to use an electric drill for this either, because this is so small. The electric drill will be actually overkill. I have a hand drill, which would probably be just as fine for this. So, except you tend to walk. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to hold it steady And we're gonna just I'm just gonna and all right, now here's how much where the board's gonna go. Okay, so for right now, the PC board can go back in the box. We're done with that for now. So now the next job is to drill. Now, this is soft plastic. It's ABS. You don't have to go crazy with high-speed drills, but we are going to need to find a way to center punch these holes because otherwise the drill's going to block. So, I'm going to use a hand drill for this. Unfortunately, and I'm going to use I don't have a center punch or a prick punch. Wish I had, but I don't. But I do have a hammer and I do have nails. So let's use a nail. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Normally I don't work in I usually work in the kitchen, except the problem with the kitchen table is the thing shakes, and I'm not gonna want to deal with it. So okay, you don't have to go too crazy. Okay. If you do want to use an electric drill, which you certainly can, make sure to get it centered, because if you get it off, and this did walk a little bit. Okay. Looks good. Remember, measure twice, cut once. Alright, so I can use the electric drill for this. So, remember what I said about safety spikes, because maybe you didn't hear that part of the video. But this is important because you're dealing with a tool that goes insanely fast. I don't care if it's a electric drill or a hand drill. I'm going to use the hand drill because it would be a lot easier to show it on the screen without being too excessively noisy. So let's see. I also need to put these drill bits in with the other drill bits, so you can see how it's going to go on. It's going to just, you want to go slow anyway, because so the problem with electric drills, it can get away from you really fast, and then you're going to be dealing with insanely I don't want to make a racket, so I'm going to make sure to line the hole up. Okay. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be easy to drill in this corner. Because you see, that's the problem you're going to have. It's going to be drilling against that. It's going to walk on you. Maybe you don't need to go in that far. I don't think so. No. Just gonna. Could your new vice grips help with this? Good idea. I have a brand new pair of vice grips too because unfortunately I don't have my old vice grips because oh. Just buy a pair of slip locks. Slip locks. That's open all the way. That's perfect, but it's still open too far. Okay. That looks promising. Perfect. Okay, that may sound stupid. Actually, it's not even centered right. Yeah. That's better. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna... The important thing is to hold the tool. So now I can center it. Now I got the drill. And... See? Don't even need an extension cord. Just perfect for this. Okay? Okay. Okay, perfect. All right. Now, we're gonna do, so now by using my hand drill, we have got the holes drilled. Now the PC board's gonna mount. And notice it nice. Clean. Notice I say clean and holes. So now we're gonna take the PC board standoffs. Okay. And that's in this box. That's a heat shrink to me. I don't need that right now. Oh. Okay, this is this one. Okay, so these, again, I really do like these plastic, because these packages are great, because this has everything nice and neat inside the package, and it keeps everything tidy. I like that. And people might think I'm a slob, but the truth is I'm not. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is inside here you have these plastic standoffs, and these come in different lengths and sizes. Now, this is Phillips heads, which is fine. These are plastic nylon. I'm just curious to see how close to this size. This is 3mm. Yep, perfect. Alright, so now thinking okay, now I'm going to use this one. Now notice this one has itty bitty little nuts. They also have pass-throughs like this and standoffs that, well, theoretically speaking, this is really all you need. You don't need this really big ones. Okay, so I'm going to do is take this, and I don't have to rush and do this all today. I can do this over several days. Okay. So I'm gonna get our PC board out. Put it. You have so many boards that look almost the same. I got two identicals. Okay. Okay, here's the board. So I'm gonna take this board and I'm gonna take this stand off. Oh, that sucks. Oh, the PC board is, the standoff is almost bigger than the PC board. Well, you know what? Let's see. How much do you think we have to cut out of this? Not really much. It's got a pretty good sized ground plane there. Alright. So let's just take our little drill, the hand drill, and just, I have two of these same boards, so if something goes wrong with one, I got to get the other one. Okay? You might have to still clamp it. I wouldn't clamp it, I might crack it. Okay. Just, that might work fine. I hate when you drop the tape. I hate when I drop anything on the floor. Why? Depending on where it ends up, it can be either easy to get it or a royal pain. I think this entered the royal pain department. Alright. I got it. Okay. What about if you use tape to hold this board in place? I could try that. Sure. Just gonna put a piece of tape. Okay. Idea is that the thing doesn't start spinning too bad. But use this for electric till you would have. Okay. As I said, I have two of these boards, so. Okay. Let's see. Let me see what I'm doing here. Okay. So here we have the board. I have it taped down to the desk. Okay. And the problem is the holes are just a teeniest bit too small. So I'm going to throw them just a tiny little bit higher. This is not... This is not a multi-layer board, which is a good thing. I wonder if we can actually cut this with not using the drill. In operating mode. Yes, I can. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Okay. I'm going to use the tape again. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is, like I started to do, we're going to mount the board inside because we have to, okay? So we're going to use the same size standoffs that I originally was going to use. Okay, so, and that's going to go, one thing is, this is going to be one hell of a tight squeeze. Really? No, I don't know. Okay. The problem is these nuts are a little bit too big. I wanted to put the nuts on this side so that I can have the screws being on the other side. So it'll look more polished than if I had the nuts. Okay, so there I have the first nut installed. Okay, the rest of these, this one looks like it's got good clearance. This one's gonna be a tight one, so it might only be a little bit 2 instead of 4, but we'll try it. Let's try to do as much as these can. Okay, so and they came with little washers too, which we don't need the washers. But why did I choose insulated ones? Well, the reason was they were cheap. That was one reason, but the other reason is that these are also non-conductive. So, which means electrically, I don't have to worry about using standoffs. If anything, it's going to short. Okay. Okay, looks good. So now I got one more to do. Again, it's going to be a tight squeeze because it's right near the analog connector, which they have this port set for digital. So theoretically, you might say this, why don't you just take the analog connector off? Well, you could, but okay, so now we have the board on. So you can see the little standoffs are on here. This is going to allow us to kind of show you, right? You can see the standoffs there. Okay, so that's now it's going to screw into the case. So now I'm going to put the now I already can see looks like we're gonna need the 6mm long because the other ones are a little bit too short. Yeah, and it looks like I'm gonna have to put the 6mm on because these are, yeah, this might fit. Okay, so first thing I notice is that this is, yeah, these do fit. Okay. Okay. Don't make them too tight though, because you might have to be able to. What happens if you overshoot the holes? It could happen. Yeah, it could happen. It does happen. There's not much you can really do. I tried to line them up as best I can. Oh yeah, they also had the ability to put nuts on the other side too. I knew we had some. Oops. Okay, so what happens if for some reason you actually overestimate the nut size or location? There's not much you can do if you do that. You haven't done one of these boards in a long time. Yeah. Nope, got two of it too. Actually, oops. So it looks to me like you're off by about itty bitty tiny bit. Well, you know what? Why don't we see if the other holes line up? Because it seems like all the other holes are close to the right. So let's slide these bits over and see if this does any better on this side. Because I think. Okay. It doesn't really want to keep cutting holes in plastic. Okay, that works. I only got 2 nuts in though. That's okay, Michele. Trust me, it looks a lot better. Don't worry about if you get too many nuts or bolts or not. No, I don't think you want to keep cutting plastic all day. No, not really. Okay, so just tighten it in number 1 Phillips. Don't go too tight though, because you don't want to crack the material. Okay, so now I can see how close is it. That's pretty close. Do you think that last nut will fit in the bottom? I don't know. The one on the top is way off, and yeah, it may not fit. This is probably the one part of the whole assembly thing that gets frustrating for me is the so-called there's a fit mentality. Yep. Okay. So this is on. So now, what you got here now is you got one bit That's a little off. This is the only one that's off, is the one over here. The rest of this is fine. So you can see that they're all lined up. So now the board is mounted inside. This is where all your connections are going to go. Okay. As I said, there's a jumper installed there so that it will give you a total of 15 digital inputs. So that's... Now, the key switch. I do not have it ready for the key switch yet. But you can see there's also provisions here for a couple more mounting board options. Okay. So, okay, we're done with these now. Okay, so now the next part of the board project, and it's not necessarily the hardest, but it's certainly not going to be a walk in the park. But again, I can avoid using power tools when I can. I will do that. It's not that I'm afraid of power tools. I don't have a problem working with power tools. Other than the fact is that there's always a safety issue with power tools. And if you're really going to use power tools, you need to exercise caution. So let me see if I can find that. Let's get this thing out of the way. Oh, here it is. Okay. Next thing is the USB cable. Now, you can see the USB cable already has a stream relief on it. Okay, so it's already got this, it's added. You can't take this off. And it is a square cut. So what I'm going to do is, I have what they call a hobby knife or a hobby saw. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hobby saw, which is non-powered, again, and let's see approximately how big it's cut. It's not very much. Maybe about 5 millimeters. 5 millimeter by 5 millimeter square. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, let me see if I can find my hobby saw. It's pretty dull, but this material should be fine. Let's see if we can find it. Otherwise, I can use my jumbo tool to cut it. But this saw is specifically designed for this. It's old, it's rusty, but I've used it when I was doing okay. Oh yeah, it's going right down nicely. Okay. It's gonna take a while to cut through this because I want to cut slow and easy because, okay. Okay. Okay, no, that's good. Alright, so now I'm just gonna cut this one out here. Okay, I want to just cut this a little at a time on this plastic. I might have to whittle this down with my utility knife, but okay. looks good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get my needle nose, and I'm gonna grab my tool in there too, because I got something on this still we need that. So now I'm gonna be honest, keeping track of all these tools. So like this. I wish I could get this. So you can see better. I kind of what to call a score mark. Okay, and you see it comes out pretty easy. It makes a nice little notch. So take my USB-C cable. I put it right over here and see if it fits in. And if it does, almost, it's a little bit shallow, but now we got it pretty close. So what I can do is I can make this just a tiny little wider. Okay, so okay, looks pretty good. Yeah, I do have to chill out the material here, so be careful. Now you might be saying to yourself, Michele, why don't you just take the cord off, the semi-leaf off, remove the wires, and do that instead? Well, I could have done that, but then again, it looks pretty close. Yeah, but it's still gonna bring it down about a millimeter. Oh, really? Yeah. Just a millimeter? Just a millimeter. Alright, so now we didn't talk much about key switch. Let's talk about that real quick, because you know that's going to be the elephant in the room, right? Well, the key switch is pretty straightforward, honestly. Ooh, that feels good. That does feel good. Yes. Okay. It's still almost a little bit off, but it's so close, it's not even funny. I mean, you almost can... But tell you what, let's try with put the lid on it and see how it feels with the lid on it. Okay. Perfeccione. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah. All right. Place at the table, baby. Yes. Yes. Oh, that fits perfect, Michele. Don't change it. That's perfect. That's just the perfect height. You still got it, kid. I know I do. All right. So. Okay, so except for the key switch, this is that's gonna be like, wow, this is plastic with socks. Yeah, it is. It's not how the key switch is going. Yep. Okay, so what we're gonna do is at this point, this part of the project is done for right now. There's no more I can do right now with this part. This part's finished. So for the time being. So we're gonna just put the screws back in and the top so they don't get lost, and then we can start looking. This looks like this back box would fit British outlets. Yeah, you know, I didn't even realize this. This is close to a wireless. But this let's go back box. And you see you got these screw holes almost like right where the wireless back box would be. Yeah, you know what? Well, you're right. This does look like that size. Okay. But I'm not mounting a lip on here right now, but I happen to have a loose 1362 box. Okay, but we don't need it right now. So now we're gonna start planning on the switches for the top of this box. So first thing is I'm gonna take a tape. Okay. Same thing that you did last time. Okay. And then another piece it down here. Okay. And then the only thing is you can't be careful when you're drilling this not to punch too hard, you'll crack the plastic. Yes. Okay. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is this is not the strongest plastic in the world. Okay, so this here is where the controls are going to go. Now, we already know that the switches are, about 1.2 millimeter or 12.2 or 12 millimeters diameter holes. So I'm going to figure out is that I want to keep in mind that in the case of this box, you can't go right in here a whole half inch, or because you're going to have these lips, okay? And as I said, I believe this is a British electrical box. It looks like a British back box. So the good news is Don Ward said this stuff's easy to work with. So the first thing I'm going to do now is we're going to deal with the switches. And so we're going to use our measuring tape and a pen. Where am I going to put the pen? And we're going to measure out I should put the stool somewhere else. Okay, so we can start by first of all see what the total size of this is. 9 centimeters. 9 centimeters. By about 15 point, let's say 16 centimeters. Right. So make sure you remember you don't want to go in any closer than 1 centimeter. So anything from 2. Okay, so we know we got 9 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a pen. Actually, yeah, I'm going to find my pen. I think I mislaid it again. Just, I want to mark it ahead of time so that I don't have to make 1,000,000 cuts. Death by 1,000,000 cuts. Death by 1,000,000 cuts. There's nothing more destructive or disappointing when you make a beautiful box that it looks like Swiss cheese because you couldn't decide where to cut the holes. So this is one of the reasons why this took so long, because I got to cut the holes just right. So even though I have a combination square and it's of course I lost my pen. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. Let me get another pen here. I put my other pen back. I don't know where that is. And let me see if I can find the combination square. That's not combination square. No, that's not. Combination square. So what I'm going to do, because I have this box and it's this long, I don't have to cram everything in really tight. So I'm thinking switch it 2, 4, 6, and 8. Is there something wrong with them? Yeah, they're kind of. There's 2, 4, 6, and 8. Well, what about, since you got 10 switches, why don't you just do 2, 4, and 6? Why don't we do 3, 6, 3, 6, 3 and 6? Yeah, 3, 6. To give a sense of, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna just go 3 and 6 centimeters. So we're gonna take this sucker. I'm gonna mark it out. Unfortunately, I don't know where my other pen went. I hate losing my pens because I have to keep buying them, and I'm okay. So we're gonna go here for 3. Hold on, steady. Okay, 3 and 6. And then we'll do the same thing over here on this side. Make sure it lines up. Something I learned in working metal shop. It doesn't have to be damn accurate. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to take this square and I'm going to lay it against this here. First time I ever used this square, actually. Really? I bought it at a junk shop and I never used it. Okay. Okay. And now okay. Now we now know where our two rows are going to be. So what we want to now know is where our switch is going to be. Now I already said 3 centimeters, 6 centimeters. You got 10 switches. So you're going to figure you can go into, okay, so let's see, 2, yeah. I actually hate when I think that Mexican American business are on the same roller. Alright, so you want to go in for, say, 2, 4, 6, 8. And then maybe, okay, that works. Okay, fine. So we'll do that. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Okay, so now I have that. So now I just use my carbonation square again. I'm gonna line it up. And where this is gonna cross is gonna give us a cutting point. Okay. Okay. 1. 2. 3. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just the closer to make it perfect, the better. 4. Okay, so now you count the rounding off here. You see where the switches are going to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll mark 9 and 10. Okay? And so that's the next step. Is we're gonna go ahead. Now, so we're gonna have to put aside. We're gonna go with toggles or buttons. I actually am thinking buttons because you can't really get much else. Right. Okay. So now we have. So you already can check the bottom and see if the box is going to be clashing with the buttons. And it looks. Remember, it's always better to double check your cuts before you make them because if you cut them too late, it's cutting it close. But yeah, it looks like it'll be fine. Okay, so now we do is we're going to take our drill. Again, I'm using the hand tool because it's safer and it's quiet and it's not going to make a racket. So you just line up the drill. And I say safer, I'm not kidding. Because you would have, an electric drill would have been flying that bit around. Okay. So now, so that's 2. Also, the reason I chose the spacing I did is because if you want to put labels on this thing, you can't. Now remember, there is provisions in this thing for 14 buttons or switches, so. Okay. If you ever screw up, now, what we're going to do is some of the buttons are bigger and some of the buttons are the size of the holes. So what we're going to do is, now, what about the toggle switches? We didn't talk about those. Well, the toggle switches are skinny. They can be put one here, one here, one here. But then you're going to have the key switch in the front. So that's going to go in. And that's going to have to leave room for the back of the switch. Okay, so just okay. Okay. So now you got this. Now we're going to run the reaming tool on this. And we're going to ream these holes bigger because the switches are bigger than this diameter. So especially the 12 millimeters. So we need to keep that in mind. Okay. Okay, I'm going to line this up. And also I wanted to have room for the labels. Okay. So. We got a really fun tool for the making holes bigger, which I use a lot. Okay, so, alright, so this is ready. There's your holes. Now, what we're going to do, I'm still looking for my reaming tool. I think it's in the toolbox. Yes. I like the reaming tool because it's kind of convenient because it's, you see, you can start with a little itty bitty hole. Okay, let's see this tool here. You can start with an itty bitty little hole, and like this one right here, and you just alternate back and forth. I mean, maybe you might want to go bigger hole than the 1/4 inch hole, but okay. So let me get one of the buttons because we're gonna be needing to work with them anyway. So. Okay, that's the toggle switches. Okay. these are the buttons right here. And already I can see that our little hole is still a bit small, okay? So just keep cutting it. Still too small. Okay. It looks more, this is more like 12 millimeters is not very big. It's actually about half an inch. So that's as big as this bit gets anyway. So closer. Okay, it needs to go a little bit bigger. Now, you're probably seeing yourself is you bought a jumble tool but you're not using it. Well, because first of all, that's perfect. Okay, I have to read and understand the instruction manual, which I have not had a chance to read yet. And second of all, for this kind of job, you don't really need a jumble tool. It's just a matter of cutting holes and okay. Okay, so it looks pretty good right there. Okay, I want to make this a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger. Just cut it. Fits in perfect. Same thing with this other one on here. This is where, this is the other reason I didn't want to have, well, are we going to still have the ignition switch or are we not? No, I don't know. I mean, it's not off the menu. I mean, it could be a thing. Okay. Ignition switch could still be a thing. Okay. Okay. Perfect. You can see now how it's going to look now when it's done. Right now I'm just using the switch as a guide. Have you ever punctured your skin with this tool? Yeah, I have, and that's one of the reasons why I gotta be careful with it, because it is very sharp. It is hardened steel, and it's really, really unpleasant way to get impaled. So you wanna be careful with this reaming tool. But as far as tools go, this is one of the most useful tools in my arsenal, because it is. Oh my god, look at all the. I'm gonna definitely have to vacuum this floor after I'm done, that's for sure. Perfect. This is definitely a very messy tool. All these tools are messy because they're going. Now, as far as putting the key switch in, well, that's I still want to do that, so I'm gonna work on that. So the first thing I want to do is, and I'm going to do the same with these switches too, is do the electrical wiring on them. Okay, so you can see now we have this nice rounded edges here. You can see that's perfect. I love it. Yeah, we're just gonna put. You got 10 switches. Yeah, and you got buttons from 0 to 11. So really, you have 1 to 11. Oh, okay. So plus we have the ordinal directions: east, west, north, south. Okay. Oh, I see what you're thinking. Yeah. See, you could put toggle switches here too. Yeah, but here, let's just explain one thing about this board before I forget, because this is a truth about this board is that while the board can handle depresses, buttons, and toggles, all American Truck Simulator doesn't really like that much, that mode. So if you want to go through and put buttons on All American Truck Simulator, you can. Okay, so, right, you got to count the connections on the back. And it's easy enough to count, really. It really is. You just, I put that thing. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if 11 and 12 are used for the key switch, and I'm thinking about that because that's close to where the key switch is going to be mounted. That would mean that the key switch would be pretty easy to do. The only problem I have to worry about with the key switch is, let me cut out the key switch for a minute. I gotta see what the diameter of that switch, that connector is. I don't think it's gonna be no. Let's see. Okay. This is the key switch right here. So I'm gonna take the key off for a minute. I'm gonna take this nut off. I'm gonna measure out. I don't have inside calipers. I wish I had some calipers. It looks like it is about 2 centimeter diameter hole, which is, for you American people, it's about I hate reading fractions. Yeah, it's about 3/4 of an inch. I got a drill bit that size. Spade bit. Yeah. All right. So. All right. So that's that. There's the key. I'll put this back in the switch. Okay. So. Yeah, that'll be easy to do, but I have to be careful when I cut the plastic with a spade bit, because plastic things can get kind of crabby. All right, so now let's finish drilling the rest of these holes. What happens if the drill bit isn't, like this one here is a little bit off? Yeah, oh, well, yeah, that's likely to happen, because it's not like I got a professionally made punch machine to do this. But, yeah, you don't want to get punched. You don't want to get this reamer jabbing you in the hand. It hurts like hell. I'm not going to lie. And I'm... So... Actually, I want to go a little bit smaller than 2 centimeters, because of one reason. That is, okay. So now you can see we're getting. It's not perfect, but it's going to be pretty good when this is done. Okay. Okay, I gotta fine tune this still. It's almost. Okay. Looks good. Okay, and then the same thing. So why are we doing this on YouTube when everybody knows that YouTube doesn't particularly like my channel? Actually, YouTube doesn't mind my channel. It's just YouTube is sort of become a little bit like a Karen. They're just terrible at this. You know, they're like, it's YouTube has become like a Karen. All right, so for right now, we have these boxes gonna have buttons. Maybe I might put the toggles on the front. There's a reason I would say that, which is, first of all, all right, this looks pretty good now. Yep. So let's take this paper off. The next thing to do is mount the switches and then solder the leads to them. And that looks really nice. Yeah, I mean that looks really posh. I mean, it looks really good. Yeah, it does, and the masking also helps remove the chips, which now you might be asking yourself a question, and the question is, the switches. Let's put them in place, okay? So you can see how they fit. Okay, I'm gonna screw them in place. So let's just go ahead and pop them in there, okay? Okay. Let's see now what they look like. You got your mounting hardware here. Because this is a homemade button box. What's nice about this is the fact that this is going to be a custom package, and there's something nice about custom made stuff, even if it doesn't seem like it's worth the effort. I do think it looks really nice. Okay, so you only have a pack of 10 switches, so that's why I only put 10 holes. But there theoretically would have been more room for more holes. Okay. Okay. You got one that's a little bit too tight, Michele. Alright, get the ream tool out. Just ream a little bit of material out of it. This is... Oops. Okay, it's that one. Second one. Found my pen. Switch. Okay. So here is your switch panel. Now I gotta just put the screws in the bottom. So to do that, by the way, I also found my other pen too. So what we're gonna do now is we have the mounting hardware in here. Okay, so let's see, how is this sealed? Oh, okay. Okay, does this have rings too? Yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. That's okay. Don't need rings. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna thread this on the bottom. I mean, I'll be honest, I really kind of wish you had washers with this. These nuts are so long. But in a way, the thing, are you sure this thing wasn't designed to work for a PC board? Because it looks like these can be used for PC board mounting. Yeah, oh, there is gaskets. Oh, well, I don't need gaskets. I'm not going to be working in cold or rain, so. Okay. Okay. I mean, I suppose you could put nuts in there if you really wanted to. I suppose you could. I don't know. I wouldn't waste my time, but. Now, by the way, so this is going to have. So where are you going to put the labels, and how are you going to mount the labels on them? Well, I don't have one of those fancy Dymo P-Touch things that are now the rave. I just got an old embosser. But theoretically speaking, that would be more than fine. I don't know if I don't use all the connections on this box, which is probably not what's going to happen. Always good to have extras, in case you ever need to make a setup where you need to use a connection control. Let's just screw this in place. Now, because his wire sizes, the one question that came up is, can you make the switches any, those other toggle switches you bought, the single pole, single throws, could you buy some momentary versions of those? And the answer is yes, you can. Okay. This looks good. I like it. Oh, that feels nice. Yeah. And then the key switch is going to be on the front, which I got to drill the hole. And I'm going to have to use my electric drill for that. Remember about the safety squints. I didn't forget about the safety squints. I know all about that. Trust me, I don't want to get plastic chips in my eyes. Yeah, I don't want to get plastic chips in my eyes. Definitely not. So, could you use those quick disconnects on these switches? Theoretically, no, because they're not really set up for quick connects. They got solder looks. Yeah, they're not. I suppose you could if you wanted to, but okay, you got two more to do. You got two more nuts. Two more nuts. You can see now I'm flipping over so you can see it. That's the rubber gasket thing that they had. We don't need that because it's not going outside where I need to seal for the elements. So you can see the screws on just like that. What I'm trying to do is line these switches up. And then I'm going to go find a wrench that'll fit this to tighten them up. I think I have one in my drawer. Although it may be a little bit snug. Looks like a 13 millimeter. 13 millimeter sounds about right. I think I might have one in my purse actually. Oh yeah, you do have one in your purse. That's right. You keep one for your walker. Yep. Okay, so this is the switch assembly. So now you can see, looks like a little squeeze back. Beep 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 beep. You can use it for a musical instrument. Well, it's not. I guess that's not too bad of an idea. A little squeeze box like electronic one. Yeah, you could do something like that. Sure. Absolutely. Or you could visualize, if you will, if you had a building and you wanted to make a custom building intercom, this would be part of your box right here. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. All right, so let's see if I have a wrench that fits this so I can tighten these up. At least try to anyway. This might be a little bit hard, but I'll see what you're doing. Let's see if we can find a wrench that fits these. It said 13 millimeter, right? Yeah. 13 millimeter. Well, that says 13. Pretty close, right? It was right. It was pretty close. Yeah, you were right on the money. Well, 13 millimeter is all I need. Well, not exactly. It's close enough though. Close enough, yeah. Alright, I can get this tightened up anyway. So let me tighten this up. That's 13 millimeters. That's pretty right. Pretty close to right. They might need these little pliers. Well, it's actually a little bit bigger. This is actually a little bit bigger. This looks like it needs a 15. Oh, really? Looks like a 15? Yeah, it's like 15. It's not a 13, no, it's a 15. American measurement. It's too small, too small. This is too big. So I need a 15 and I only have a 13. So I have a 12. That's too small. I need a 14 or 15. That was the 13 you were using. That's too big. Alright, I'm gonna do. Let me use my needle nose. I'm just gonna snug them up because once you start soldering the wires to the buttons, it's gonna be important to make sure that the buttons are nice and firm and not gonna work loose on you. Because no one likes me touching wiring. I was thinking about the same thing was unlike a toggle switch, these are not likely to flip around as much. Toggle switches are completely different beasts. Okay. Now, okay. Okay. So you can see I'm just tightening these screws up here. Yeah, and they'll try to squeeze box. I like that idea. If anybody wants to do that, you can actually use this as a model. Of course, you'll only be able to do 8 main notes, no sharps or flats, but maybe you might still have fun with it though. You know, I've seen the squeeze boxes I'm talking about. They don't really have that many buttons on them. What they do have is, I think 8 keys on each side. Alright, so now the buttons are tight enough for right now. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe like C, D, E, F, G, B, C, A, D, C. So it's a little more than 8 notes. So, and you would just maybe imagine just having a switch on the side to select octave, and then you can. So if you want to make it, switch the game back. Beep 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 beep. Double chord, You know, all you need is 2 more, and you could have official full 12 notes for an octave. Oh, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I like that idea. See, I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, so now the key switch. The key switch is next. Okay, now to do the key switch, we have to first decide. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm gonna do these little rubber thingies. I can still use them for something. These little grommets, I don't really need them. That's the game with them, theoretically speaking. getting rubber pieces all over. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to sweep the floor anyway. Okay. Okay, so this here is so the key switch. So now we're gonna talk about the key switch. The elephant in the room, the one that's suggested using ring connectors, but it didn't have any. Yeah, not key switch, because I did buy some from the hardware store. It didn't have any rings in the size. People don't realize I try to keep these kind of things in my toolbox at all times because I do a lot of repairs, and sometimes. Okay, see, there's 20 of them. I don't need all 20, obviously. See, 3. Alright, so I have 3. So what I want to do is, let me see if I need to green these out. Nope, perfect. Okay. Totally smashing success. Fantastic. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I can put these rings with these screws. Okay, there's 4 screws and there's 3 terminals, so you don't really need to worry about. So just put these 3 rings, and when we put these rings together, you're going to want to. Okay, so we now know with a good guess of where the switch is going to go. Now, originally I was thinking, this is the reason I had to really ask myself, okay, yeah, okay, so let me measure this out here. Now, I'm going to use a mounting method, which many people in wood and metal shop would basically shudder at, and that is because of the fact that the key switch is going into plastic. I need to figure out the center of this and where I want it. I see this is about 4 millimeters, so it looks like the center is about 2 or 20 millimeters. Okay, so now I can go ahead and cut 20 millimeter hole, but I really kind of wanted to make it a little smaller than that. But oh well, you do with what you got, right? Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead. Since we have to mark it. Okay. Now. So we take the key switch again. Where I put it? Right here. And we now know it's going to be something like here. Obviously, it's going to be inside the box, not on the outside. Okay? So we have to figure out, because there's got all this extra surface here, I'm going to probably go a little bit higher than 2 millimeters or 20 millimeters, because you're going to have to remember the key switch. So we're going to start by figuring out. This is one of the few times you might want to go ahead and just ask yourself that $99 question, which is, how much does this switch going to stick out? Well, you got an edge here. So it can't be exactly right there in the center. You don't mind being a little bit off. Being off a little bit is okay. But if you get off too much, it's going to look really stupid. So you're going to... right here. Okay. Okay. Now, because of the nature of this key switch, and I'm going to be dealing with a spade bit, and the spade bit is not really designed for this plastic. It's going to probably go flying. So, I'm going to do is clamp this to my desk. That is not an option. Okay? Okay, I gotta be careful because the PC board's inside already. So, ow! Well, it's secure. That's what counts. Okay. So, you want to have it... Well, it was secure. Yeah, I know, is not secure. Alright. So... Ow! I hate working with wrench. I hate... What? You're probably going, where's your advice from Brian PC? You know what? I don't know where it is. I think it's in the other closet I can't even get into. Oh, okay. Yes. That might be the case. This probably is in the closet. Okay. And perfect. Alright, so there's the mark. Okay, so now I remember I told you this key is 20 millimeters, so I've got to figure out alright. It doesn't have to be damn right on the money, but alright, let me get my drill out. It's in the other room. Now, so when I have my drill here, have Michele bits. And we don't have a we have a 5/8 inch. We have a 3/4, but we're not going to use the 3/4 because I mean we could, but first thing I'm going to do yes, we're going to have to find a way to mount the glass. What if you mounted it on another table? We could do that. All right, so yeah, 3/4 of an inch. Five-eighths inch. All right, I'm gonna use the 3/4 of an inch bit. Because this is a spade bit. Now, spade bits are usually used with wood, not with plastic. Now, to tighten it on chuck key the right way, tighten with one, tighten another way, holding your drill. Oh yes, make sure your drill's unplugged too. Tighten with that one. Okay. Put your safety squint on because you're going to be cutting into material with a power tool. If you do want to put your glasses on underneath your prescription lenses, you can do so. Okay? So, now make sure you get this mark right because you're not going to get a second chance. If you mess this up, and that bit could walk. So, because I couldn't get this thing to lock into the table like as well as I'd like. So we have to be careful. So I already said that we want this thing at about, you can probably just about see it. Kind of hard to see that. It's kind of really hard to see. Yeah. I really don't. 2 millimeter. Okay. Okay. I'll make sure that when you put this switch box on the top, is this gonna clash? No, but damn, it's sure gonna be pretty close. Yeah. I'm wondering if maybe you should make the switch a little bit more like, can you make it a little further away so it doesn't clash? Yeah. Oh, you mean like there. Okay, yeah, I see it. You want to move it over here. Okay. So let me put my drill here. Let me unplug the turntable. I need that in there right now. I got a 13 amp fuse on my desk, so my British outlet has a 13 amp fuse. So what I'm gonna do is just the reason I'm going slow. Okay. Unplug your tool. Oh yeah. And by the way, you're just gonna Hey, Michele, how about going in reverse? Good idea. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I can't. Okay, go. Unplug this. Okay. So now, like I said, I already have, if for some reason the board gets damaged, I have one more of those boards. They weren't that cheap, but they weren't that expensive. Okay, so now you have the key switch hole. So now what I'm going to do, there's a plastic thingy and your switch is gonna be a little higher up. Shit, it's so close. It's this plastic piece down here, so it's just cramping it. It's great. Alright, so now let's see if this fits in there. Looks like it should. Good enough. It's not really straight though. It's the switch is just so big. It's just maybe if we can bring the switch up some. How much? Also, is this switch gonna clear the other buttons? Oh, it's already sideways. How much do you think it has to come up? Not a hell of a lot. Probably just straighten it out with your. All right, let's just see if it's gonna smack into the buttons in the top. No, oh my God, that is critically close. Whoa. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not going to run the drill because this is too small of a spot to clamp, so I'm just going to Do you think the reamer might work better on this? Yeah, I think the reamer might work better on that. Let's put it. Ow! May not be perfect, but Michele, nothing in the world is perfect, okay? I'm gonna try to get rid of that stupid connector in the back. Oh. You don't have to though, it's kind of already on your way. Okay. There's a key switch right there. That's better, yeah, but it's still a little bit off by a little bit. Okay. Alright, let's just see how close it is to right. I mean, if it's not too crazy looking, it don't look too bad now. No, it's not perfect though. No, it's not perfect, you're right, but on the other hand, don't look too bad actually. No, it doesn't. No, that don't. Okay, so you can still see the switch. Yeah, like these. There you are. Good enough. No, it works. It works. Physically works. Yep. So now all I just gotta do is grab a wrench that's and just tighten it up. Okay, this is pretty close to right, so okay. Okay, it's a little crooked. Yeah, I think it's Okay, so I'm doing this. I'm just putting it in place. So here you have the switch. The 4 contacts go right in there, and so that's mounted there. Okay, it's not perfect because it's a little crooked, but so let me just. Let's see. Okay. So you have. So there's your switch right there, okay? Now it's mounted inside. So now when I put the key in, accessory, start, on, off. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, it's not perfect because you got, the switch is a little lopsided, okay? So now, but the point is now we're ready to start the process of putting the wiring in. So we're going to do that now, okay? So, put the switch and the key and assemble it back together right now. Okay. We don't lose the key. Okay. Now, as I said, we're going to be wiring the key switch up, but more than likely, the key switch for the immediate time being isn't likely to be used. Not that it can't be, it's just, I don't think it's going to happen, okay? So, let's see. Don't you hate working on a messy desk? Yes, I do, unfortunately. Normally I do all this work in the kitchen, but I decided to work here because then I didn't have to lug out tripods and other crap. Just to do a simple job like this. Okay, so now let's put this drill away since that's what. Okay, I already have unplugged the power cord. That's always important to make sure your power cord is unplugged. Okay. Now, take this off the same way you put it on. Actually, it doesn't really have to be quite as picky about taking it off. Then just put the drill bit in the top here, or the chuck key in the top. Now, next thing we didn't do is, and we should do, but we'll do it later, is we have to know on this power board is which side are earth and which side are not. Now, I seem to have remembered that the ones, I have another one that's already outside of the box. I don't know where it is right now. Okay, this. Okay, well, we're going to use the bottom rows. Okay, oh, this is easy. See this white wire? That's your neutral. Okay, that goes to your earth. Okay. Okay, and then you might be saying the same thing a lot of people are asking, which is Why would you put spade lugs on this? Alright. Well, just the, okay. Okay. Okay, no. So the white wires, first thing I checked was to see if everything was common ground, and it is. Okay. Now, we're going to take our lugs. Now, you might ask yourself is, Michele, why couldn't you have just crimped this to this, and then the problem is this connector is designed for smaller wire or bigger wire than this. If you're really not sure, now I don't have, I do, but I don't. It doesn't work to save its butt. Have a good crimper tool for this. But I know what will. Oh yeah, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, why don't you do that? Stick this wire back in the hole here. I was gonna solder this originally. Yeah, I can still solder it. Okay, so let's just use this pair of vice grips and give it a good hard squeeze, because that's what vice grips are good for. Oh yeah, I'll really squash it flat. You got it. There it is. Now, there's better crimp tools for this. Except this isn't gonna work very well. No matter what you do. Well, we have another job. Way of fixing that. Sure, solder it. Yep, that's one way you could do it. Solder right to the ring, which might be a good idea to do anyway. Even if you do manage to get squeezed onto this ring, solder right to it. Okay, so I'm gonna just tighten this thing up some more. This is not the proper tool trowel for this, but oh well. You use what you got. This is what I got. So, as the old saying goes, there's all you have a hammer, all your problems with like nails. Yeah. Okay, so this is on. Okay, so this is going to be the neutral. So what this is going to go to is Okay. So these two boards, I'm gonna... Okay, so now let's take care of the rest of the wires. I'm just concerned that I think that this ring is gonna be too much of a problem. I don't think it's gonna work that well. I would do is take this ring. Why don't you take this sleeve off this ring, because it's not really neat anyway. It's just, oh, this one to come off very easy. Okay, leave it on then. Just shove the wire in there. Okay. Make sure it sticks out just a wee bit so that I can crimp it. Okay. Now you come off. Oh. All right. I'm still gonna put a dab of solder on this anyway, because you know these speed looks are not exactly holy grail perfect. They're just not. Okay, so it's the key switch that's taking a long time. The rest of the wiring is gonna be just soldered. Okay. I'm gonna just fold this over, and then just fold over again. Okay. Now just put the other one on. There's room for a fourth pin because for the accessory terminal, which is fine, but we're not using the accessory terminal. So I want to do this. Let me get this ring off. If I can get this ring off now. Boy, this doesn't like to come off, does it? Nope. Not when I want to take it off, anyway. Yeah. Okay. So again, I'm gonna stick this wire into the hole. Yeah, I know it's not the right way to do it. Don't. So many people are gonna tell me that's not the way to crimp these connectors. You're right, and I do have a crimper tool, but it's not very good. Oh, my fingers hate me so much. Ah! That works out pretty good. Yeah, those are so stupid. You can't get rid of that stupid. Yeah, I know. Okay. So I know everybody's gonna tell me this is not the right tool for the job. Yep, I know that. Okay. Alright, so now we have a switch ready to be plugged in with the key. And we'll put the stupid switch. You lost the switch. I lost the switch. Oh, no, yeah, I did. What did I do? Let me regroup. Okay, so it explains here. It says right here, it says, this one here is ignition, this is the battery, and this is the accessory, and this is the ignition, battery, and accessory. What's the center contact for? Ignition, battery. Well, if I'm not sure, let me go ahead and buzz it out of my meter. I think this is... Oh, it's start. Okay. Oh. Alright, let's start. Okay, so what I'm going to do is... So this is going to be the battery terminal here. Okay. And let's see. I was surprised it didn't come with washers with this, but it didn't. Okay, so okay. Okay. So now, and now we have the ignition switch, which is going to be, start's going to be the last one down here. So this is going to be the start position. So that's going to go to the last pair. Yes, you could wire the accessory terminal to something if you wanted to, but honestly, in the game, there really is no really use for an accessory terminal. It just doesn't really need to be there. Okay. Let's see if we can see this. Okay. Okay. So that's the start switch. And last but never the least, of course, is the run switch. As imperfect as it is, it kind of makes sense, right? So, and even though we're not using the accessory, I'm going to put the nut on the accessory anyway, just in case I ever need to use it for something. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so now we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 connections here. This is started 0, 0, and it goes to 12. Okay, 0, 0 to 11. So now Thus, you also got these two connections in here for other things as well. So now, I'll take the key out. Okay, I'll just mount the switch assembly inside. I'll just try to line it up. It ain't perfect, trust me, but it'll be. It's better than what nothing at all. Does that mean we can test this now? Oh yeah, let's test it. There's lots of ways to test this. Alright, so let's put the rest of this together, because next step is going to be soldering the connections on the top, and that's going to be the final ones. And then at this point, the board should be ready to go to work. So I'm just gonna take this screws out, and now we're just gonna put the top on. Make sure it doesn't smack into the wiring. Oh, it looks pretty good right there. It does. All right. We can. Okay, so that's good. That means that's one thing we don't have to worry about. Next is to connect the lead for the internet, for USB cable. Now, I can test it with this computer because this computer recognizes this board, so I don't necessarily need to go in the bedroom to test this. In fact, when I found out this works with this computer, and then I realized I had myself, hey, you know what? I said, I could make a game playing, I could make a joystick controller for this computer. Okay. I'm just putting this together as a dry fit. Pretty much got to start the wires to the controller. Okay. It's not bad. No, it's not bad. It's just I just roughly fitted it together, but it looks. And there are some minor issues, but it's nothing. Okay. So and then the key would go in here. Let me just tighten this knob real quick here before I forget. I do have to fix something here. Two things, actually. Okay, first of all, first thing I have to fix is this. Okay, so here you have your okay, so this is pretty good though. Yeah. And then this just screws back on and then you're it's not perfect. The problem I'm having is more of the key switch, which has been it's been a technical problem already from the beginning. So there's nothing I can do with the key switch. It's just the nature of it. I mean, I love the idea of having a watertight seal. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is Okay. Alright, so this is what it looks like now, okay? So it's kind of got some heft to it. It's you know, when I wire up all these switches, as I said, it looks like a squeeze box. And then I can put some little toggles on this front here as well. Oops, don't lose the keys. I don't know if these are universal keys. Some of these boxes have universal keys. Okay. So the only thing I need now is rubber feet. I don't have any. Alright, so what I'm going to do is let me I don't want to put it in here because it might crash the computer. Normally I won't crash the computer, but just in case, let me go ahead and stop this recording, and then I'll come back and let you know how it works. This way, after it crashes the computer, we're not going to have a problem. Okay, I tested the box, and it works exactly like it should work. Okay, you have the key in removable state, which is in the off position. When you're programming the ignition switch for the key and run, before you start the key sign, make sure it's in the neutral position or removable key option, okay? Then when you get the key ready to be programmed, just go here into its run position. And since it's going to be staying on the whole time, it's going to see that button's hold down, okay? And then when you're ready to do the ignition start, you just leave the key in the front and then turn it to start and then release it, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to tell it that it's momentary. So maybe American Truck Simulator did improve the game by removing some of the needs of having to go through all that. Now I didn't solder these wires yet on the top, and I still have 4 buttons on the back. I want to put some here. After I have those little itty bitty toggle switches, so I do want to put some toggle switches on this too, and solder the wires to that. So how many of these wires do I have left? Because we kind of lost one. So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They need a 10 for the buttons on the top, okay? So these are going to be for the buttons, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so then you have 4 more, okay? So for the 4 switches, so looks like we should be all set. So again, just count, make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so there's your 10 buttons there, and then you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 for that. And then you asked me about these little legs here. Well, unfortunately, these little spade lugs are going to do you no good because they're too short. You can't really do anything with these spade lugs. Okay, those screws are meant for soldering too. So these little legs are useless. They're not going to help you. So that's going to be the next job, is to fire up the old poker and start making the connections to the board, and I will do that in a little bit. Let me go ahead and get the process of cleaning up my desk. It looks like it's awful. There are all pieces of plastic everywhere, and I did not get a chance to play with my new little Dremel tool. Oh, I wanted to, but you know what? I'm gonna be honest and say it. even if I had played with the jumble tool, even if I had played with it, it wouldn't have done me a lot of good anyway. But now we're ready for step 2, which is now we're gonna go ahead and I think this came out very good. I mean, I spent a lot of money to make this box. Was it cheaper to buy one off the store shelves? Yeah, it would have been cheaper to buy one off the store shelves. But you know what? The one nice thing is because I made this homemade. I made it my way. This is mine, baby. This is my design. So, yes, this is definitely my design. And if you want to, like I said, you get rid of the key switch. You can make a nice little squeeze box, a little electronic one with music on it. I know, because remember, there's 12 notes, right? So you can have your sharps and your flats, B sharps, B flats, C sharps, C flats. Or you can even make 8 notes, whole notes, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, a whole octave, right? Would anybody really care? Probably not. I like the way this came out. It's really stands out. I made this. This is mine. Now I just gotta set the rest of the wires, and then since it looks like you have the whole switch for the ignition. Does that mean when the key is released that it's going to shut off the ignition, or does that mean that That's a good question. I don't think it works that way. But still, I like it. It's all right. Now, since we have 10 buttons, so what kinds of functions could you set those buttons for? I'll leave that for you to figure that out, because everybody's gonna want to do different things with this. Maybe you might want to have one to open and close your windows on your truck. Maybe you might want to have one to turn on the radio, turn the radio off, change the station on the radio. You know, maybe one to couple, recouple, or your different brake assemblies, you know. And I think it's cute. It works, okay? That's the whole idea. And now what about the buttons on the side? Well, same thing. I have room for 4 more buttons here, right? So all I have to do is just go ahead and put 4 more buttons on here, which could be wired to the joystick mode. And if I'm really, really worried about it, I could just use the, raw material, type switches instead of regular toggles. So that would work like these buttons on the top here. But I would say right now in prototype testing, this works. So that's a step in the right direction. Sure took long enough to do. With the testing, yes, I know them, but theoretically, it's not using it. Oh, okay. Okay, so now, oh yeah, it weighs a ton. Well, I guess that counts as trial by failure, or falling to the floor. So now, let me go ahead and get this put together, and then upload this video. And I think it was very successful. It was kind of long, but hey, you know what? I think it's going to be good, and that's a cool thing. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.
In the summer's embrace, she finds her way song is the flow.